Welcome to Tommo'S Race CHINWAG, Quiz of the Month edition. At the start of each month, we'll reflect on the goings-on in Formula 1 of the month prior. 20 questions, 4 possible answers. Let's see if you've been paying attention. Play along live on YouTube or after the fact on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. My name's Tommo. Let's talk about it. You can't have a pop at me this time, right? Just a couple of notes early doors. If you're going to leave a super chat, I would save it for Wednesday's live stream. If you are, I'll read it out at the end. I've made a few changes to the bit rate of these streams as well. So the quality should still be decent and we shouldn't get the buffering issues that we've had in the past. But it remains to be seen. Xander, Priest, Dumda, Hugbear, Abigail, Sense, and the rest of you. Okay, quiz time. I'm looking forward to this. Are we ready? Are we feeling good? Are we feeling ready? Are we feeling prepared? I don't think there's any point wasting any time. I think we should get straight into question 1. Now, of course, again, you take your notes, all right? You keep track of your scores, and I'll trust you. Question 1 of the quiz. We're here. The heavens opened in Australia and Racing Bulls pit Yuki Tsunoda way too late onto the Inters, robbing his performance of the points it deserved. Poor old Yuki. But on which lap did they finally bring him in? Lap 44, 45, 46 or 47. You have 30 seconds to get your answer in. Which lap did they eventually pit Yuki on? 44, 45, 46 or 47. A fantastic performance. Only 3 points for Racing Bulls so far this season, which is an absolute travesty given their performance. But what lap do you reckon? What lap do you reckon? Don't tell me in the live chat you can't hear anything, right? When that you're just trying to scare me, okay? The answer is 47. 44 was the prime lap to bring everyone else on. That was the lap that seemed to work for the winners. But lap 47 was way too late from Racing Bulls. Even 46, Max pitted on lap 46 and made it work and almost won the race. But 47 was at least one too many. And unfortunately, in the bin, all right? In the bin. Lap 47 was when they pit Yuki Tsunoda. Did you get that one right? If you did, well done. If you didn't, and I see a few of you went 45 in the chat, 46s as well. Never mind. Right. Let's go again. Question number 2. We feeling good? We feeling ready? 1 out of 1. Well done to everyone who's 1 out of 1. Can you get a 2 out of 2? McLaren announced the contract extension for Oscar Piastri earlier this month. When will this new contract keep him at the team until 2027, 2028, 2029 or 2030? You have 30 seconds. This new deal for Oscar Piastri will keep him till the end of a certain year at McLaren. But what year will this take him till? Okay. Let me know. What do you think? And I know a lot of you said in the live chat thought this quiz was easy last time out. But most of you in the YouTube comments thought it was about right. So I'm keeping it about right because I know you like to gas yourself up in the live chat, right? The answer to 1 is 2028. Well done to anyone who went for that. Most of you in the live chat seem to get that one right. Congratulations. 2028 is when this contract for Oscar. So we got him for obviously the rest of 25, all of 26, all of 27, all of 28. 2029? Who knows? Lock him down, Zach. Lock him down because he's a hell of a driver. Is our Oscar. Okay. Everald Pedis is on 2 out of 2. Shame you're a Chelsea fan though. Can't win them all. Okay. Can't win them all. Question number 3. Let's move through thick and fast. New rear wing flexibility tolerances were unexpectedly introduced for the Chinese Grand Prix, weren't they? With 4 teams the focus of the FIA's scrutiny. McLaren, Ferrari, Haas, and who? Was it Aston Martin, Mercedes, Alpine, or Williams? 30 seconds, boom. There were 4 teams that they were looking at for this. 4 teams. specifically who were identified as targets for this rear wing flexibility stuff. See, McLaren didn't stop them winning the race, getting the 1-2. Ferrari, Haas, and one other team. But who was that other team? Okay, who was that other team? Who do you reckon? 3, 2, 1. Alpine. The answer was, of course, Alpine. And they were the ones who seemed to struggle actually the most, didn't they? They seemed to be the ones most adversely affected because Haas improved massively for China. Ferrari won a sprint race and were running not great in the main race, obviously before the disqualifications, but they were doing an okay job. McLaren got a 1-2. Alpine, they went backwards. So, finally a point on the board. Look, listen, doesn't matter how they come. As long as you're getting points on the board, you got to take them, okay? Alpine was the answer. Okay. Question number 4. And apologies if you can hear a chainsaw in the background. Someone's getting their tree cut down and I've got the windows closed, but this is the best I can do. Right. Question number 4. Somebody took a full PU change at the Chinese Grand Prix weekend, meaning they are already on number 2 of the 4 permitted over the course of the entire season. But who took this full PU change at the Chinese Grand Prix? Was it Nico Hulkenberg, Jack Doohan, Oliver Behrman, or Lance Stroll? Who took super early doors to take a full PU change as well, by the way? This is like the full, all the bells and whistles, This is it's tough. This is a tough one to take if you are said driver / said team. But someone's already had to take a full PU change. Tough. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to see. This is ICE, TC, MGUH, and MGUK. The answer is Jack Doohan. Jack Doohan. His engine's not doing fine. Oh, Jack, bless him. At least he's quick over a lap. I know the race pace it's close, it's getting there. And this doesn't help his cause at all. But I guess if Colapinto does take his seat, he will also inherit this early PU change, which doesn't bode well for Alpine, but I guess they're moving to Mercedes engines from next year onwards, so they won't have to worry about that too much anymore. Will they? But yeah, it was a full PU change for Jack. Again, full PU change, ICE, TC, MGUH, MGUK as well. Tough. Right, okay. 4 down. Well done, everyone who's on 4 out of 4. Most of you, there's a lot of 3s, there's a few 2s. I've made this tricky, all right? I've made this tricky. It's a challenge. I want this to be a challenge. I don't want this to be easy, all right? Otherwise, it's not fun that way. Right. Question 5, with the chainsaw in the background. A single team has delivered the fastest pit stop at both the first 2 weekends of the season. Which team is this who's delivered the fastest pit stop in both Australia and China? Is it Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, or Racing Bulls? One team has been cooking. Quickest pit stop in Australia, quickest pit stop in China. But who? Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, or Racing Bulls? Tell you what, I mean, look, there's good precedent in pit stops for all of these teams. These are all top contenders, absolutely. But only one of them has taken the fastest pit stop in the first 2 weekends, and that is Ferrari. Ferrari, the Scuderia, have taken the quickest. They both on Charles Leclerc's car as well. Both on Charles. He got a 2.32 seconds pit stop in Australia and a 2.05 in China. So we were almost breaking the 2-second barrier early doors. Obviously, McLaren have the all-time record of Anyone in chat remember what the McLaren record is? Does anyone remember? I think they said it last year, didn't they, McLaren? I think it was. I know the time. Yes, 1.80 seconds indeed. Yes, well done. Well done, chat. Well done. Very, very good knowledge. 1.80. Lovely jubbly. Right, okay. Question number 6. Let's carry on. Let's move. Let's keep going. Let's keep this momentum high, shall we? This is from Patreon member Seamus. Thank you, Seamus. Seamus, you are here today as well. So, Seamus, don't answer your own question. And if you do want to if you want to be a patron, right, you can submit questions for the quiz, right? On which lap did rookie Fernando Alonso get caught out by the gravel and subsequently crash out in Australia? On what lap did this happen? Was it lap 30, 32, 36 or 34? No, sorry, 30, 32, 34 or 36. Don't know why I read it in that order. This is from the brain of Seamus. So what do you think? What do you think? What lap did Fernando Alonso crash? Of course, we saw kind of got a bit caught out, didn't he? Seemingly it was gravel because he wasn't running massively off track, but he got caught out by the gravel, hit the wall, and the knock-on effect of that was fairly significant. So what lap did he crash? 3, 2, 1. It was lap 34. Well done to anyone who's got that correct, and a lot of you in live chat have. Well done. Been keeping an eye on old Fernando, the only driver to retire from both Grand Prix at the start of the season. So he is stone dead last at the very bottom of the Drivers' Championship is old Fernando. What a shame. Okay, question number 7. Going off twice, that's not good enough. Who was captured saying this in Season 7 of Drive to Survive, which of course came out in March? Was it Helmut Marko, Laurent Mekies, Fred Vasseur or Ao Komatsu? Going off twice, that's not good enough. Who said this? Who said this in Drive to Survive? Okay, this is the one and only Drive to Survive question in there. I know Drive to Survive is a bit contentious. I say it before I say it again. I enjoy it for what it is, you know. I take it for what it is. I'm not looking for a full doc. I'm not expecting a full doc. I don't think it claims to be a full doc. It's a way of getting new people in, getting new people interested. And there are some interesting little nuggets. And this was a very interesting quote. I thought, you're out of time. The answer is Ao Komatsu when he was talking to Ollie Behrman after Brazil, because Ollie crashed. And he gave him a bit of a, you know what? We've not really seen this side from Ao Komatsu, but quite kind of stern, quite authoritative. Ollie's a young lad. I actually think Ao came across really well in this. I think there's, you know, you have to be firm, especially with these young drivers. I think a degree of that is fine and beneficial to them. And yeah, I thought that was good. I thought that was good from good driver management from old Ao. And I think Ollie's, you know, come out the blocks swinging this year. So firm but fair, exactly, Mish. Firm but fair is the perfect way of putting it. I just waffled far too much. Okay, question 8. We'll get to 10 and then we'll have a little bit of a break, okay? Because they're coming thick and fast, this quiz, right? Question number 8. Early in March, it was reported Ferrari had won legal action to prevent their former chassis technical director, Enrico Cardile, beginning as Aston Martin's technical director before his gardening leave was due to end. So Enrico's going from Ferrari to Aston Martin, but Ferrari won legal action to stop him leaving before his gardening leave ends. Enrico's new start date at Aston Martin is the 18th, but of what month? When can Enrico Cardile start? I've kind of not worded this great. Is it the 18th of May, 18th of July, 18th of August, or 18th of October? So when is Enrico Cardile starting or the earliest start date he can now start as technical director at Aston Martin? That was not very elegantly worded. I could have definitely made this question less waffly, but I gave you time, okay? You've still got 10, 9, 8, 7 seconds. The 18th of what month? May, July, August, or October? Enrico Cardile can start at Aston Martin as early as the 18th of July. That's when his gardening leave ends. They wanted to get him in earlier, Aston Martin, but they couldn't. I mean, I'm sure Enrico doesn't mind too much because gardening leave is being paid to not work. So I'm sure he's sunning it up somewhere, having a good time. But it's not great for Aston Martin because, of course, yes, Newey's already in place, but Enrico's going to have what is going to be Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, you know, half of the year before he can even, more than half the year before he can even get his fingers onto the 2026 car, which as technical director isn't ideal. you know, isn't ideal. Never mind, Enrico. I'm sure you'll smash it, mate. Question number 9 next. Over 2 Grand Prix and 1 sprint so far this season, who has the highest average finishing position of these 4 drivers? Is it George Russell, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, or Oscar Piastri? Of course, Lando has the most points, but who has the highest average finishing position combining the Australia race, China sprint, China race? Who has the highest average finishing position of these 4? Oscar's won a race, Lando's won a race, George has had 2 podiums, Max is up there as well. But who's got the most? The highest average finishing position? The answer, might surprise a few of you actually, is Max. Max has the highest average finishing position of these 4. So George Russell has a 3rd, a 4th and a 3rd, which averages to a P3.3 recurring. Lando has a 1st, an 8th, a 2nd, which averages to a P3.66 recurring. Oscar has a 9th, a 2nd and a 1st, which averages to a P4. And Max has a 2nd, a 3rd and a 4th, which averages to a P3. So it's Max, actually, who has the... I was quite surprised, to be honest, with this one. I thought it was going to be George, but actually, no, it's Max who has the highest average finishing position in what is at best the 4th quickest car. And when it's not in his hands, it's the Sauber, essentially. Okay, one more question, then we'll have a little break, okay? First half, I can have a little... I can give my voice a little rest, and you lot can let me know what you're thinking so far. There's some 8s, 9s. David's got 9 out of 9. David, mate, if you've really got 9 out of 9, that's blooming impressive. And thank you, Isaac, for the little super chat in the old key. New Zealand dollars, you should be asleep, mate, surely. Right, question number 10. This is from Patreon member Varna. Again, if you do want to submit questions to this quiz, then you can support me on Patreon, and over on the Patreon community tab, you can submit questions. Thank you, Varna. Liam Lawson got demoted to the junior team. Really? No, I had no idea. After just 2 race weekends, making him the driver with the fewest starts ever for Red Bull Racing, with just 2. Who is the next fewest? Which driver has the next fewest starts after Liam Lawson with 2? Is it Robert Dornbos, Vitantonio Liuzzi, Scott Speed, or Christian Clean? Who has the next fewest? These 4 have all driven for Red Bull Racing. Liam has the fewest starts with 2. Who has the next fewest after Liam? Liam took the record. Look, obviously now is the point, like, it's happened. I really hope Yuki makes it work, okay? And I hope that Liam smashes it and does an amazing job and adds to the egg on face. The correct answer is Robert Dornbos. Robert Dornbos has the next fewest with, and someone said it in the chat, with Sven said it in the chat, Robert with 3. Indeed, 3 races at the end of 2006 for Robert Dornbos. Vitantonio Liuzzi had 4, and then Scott Speed and Christian Clean both had 28 respectively. So they had a bit of a jump up. Actually, Speed and Clean had more than Albon, more than Gasly as well in total. So there you go. Robert Dornbos was the answer to question number 10. How are we feeling? How are we feeling so far? Are we feeling positive? And how are we getting on? 8 out of 10 for Zonda, 6 out of 10 for Priest, Abigail 9 out of 10. Damn. Centrum 6 out of 10. Mish 8. David's on 10. David is on 10. That's channel member. Yeah, channel member means that you just get that extra little bit of wheel knowledge, you know? It comes with the territory. All right. Isaac, 9 out of 10, just copy it. Well, look, if you don't want to see the answers, you need to not look at the live chat whilst the 30 seconds is going, and then you can look at the live chat after, you know? Because it's like when I'm doing my my predictions or my bangers and clangers. Like I try to make sure that I've done mine before I can see yours, because I don't want to be like subconsciously influenced And that's typically, that will always happen when I give the race like a 5 out of 10 and you've all given it a 2 out of 10. That's typically when that happens. You feel like we're gambling. Well, there's no money on the line. Just your time, okay? Just your time. Just your time. Although what you can actually do while we are having our little break is this. Enjoying this podcast, please give it a good rating. 5 stars would be lovely. A comment, engage however you can. It helps get the CHINWAG out to the world. Clorox, how can you be on 0 out of 10? 0 out of 1? Oh, okay. You're okay. If you're here live, but you've rewound to the front, then don't look at the live chat because you're definitely going to get spoilers. Okay. Let's get second half on the way, shall we? We're 23 minutes in. Question 11 of the quiz for the month of March. Let's get into it. Alex Albon, of course I've got to put this one in here, is 3-0 up in qualifying head-to-head versus Carlos Sainz. But what is their average gap over these 3 qualifying sessions so far? Is it 0.452, 0.552, 0.652 or 0.752 of a second? You have 30 seconds. And obviously I've been keeping this gap, keep an eye on these gaps. I've got a spreadsheet and everything, right? It's great. For my post-race CHINWAGs and my post-sprint CHINWAGs, I guess there's 30 qualifying sessions in total because 6 sprint qualies, 24 normal race qualies, and you might as well include them because they're the same, just a bit different. But what's been the average in the first 3? So Australia, China sprint, and China main race qualifying. The answer is 0.452. 0.452 advantage Alex so far. Carlos will find his way, no doubt. He always gets on top of cars. It might have taken a bit longer. But also, I think, Alex is driving at a very high level, and it's been easy to underestimate him. But yeah, 0.452 is the answer. Get in there, Alex. Question 12. We go again. Esteban Ocon put a superb drive in at the Chinese Grand Prix to claim P5 in the end, thanks to the Ferrari disqualifications, of course. But who did he need to overtake on the grass down the back straight to pass on lap 15? Was it Lance Stroll, Alex Albon, Kimi Antonelli or Pierre Gasly? Who did he have to pass on the grass? I always remember when I pass on the grass, it's like Albon in the Red Bull overtaking Perez in 2019 at Spa is the one that sticks in my head. I remember that one well. Kimi, get up, Kimi. Kimi Raikkonen. Which one? Which Kimi? Kimi Antonelli? Was it Lance Stroll? Was it Alex Albon? Was it Pierre Gasly this time out? We'll see. Who do you reckon? The answer is Andrea Kimi Antonelli, of course. He was struggling with floor damage, granted. Kind of explained why he was getting overtaken by a Haas, ultimately, in his Mercedes, because that shouldn't really be happening. But yeah, that exonerates Andrea Kimi Antonelli somewhat. However, yes, the answer is Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Well done to everyone who got that correct. Question 13. Nico Hulkenberg was pitted at the optimal time by Sauber, unlike Yuki with Racing Bulls, to jump up the field significantly in Australia and finish P7 in the end. But which position was Nico running in prior to that final pit stop? So prior to that final pit stop where Racing Bulls brought him in, Tsunoda in on lap 47, Hulkenberg was pitted at the optimal time on lap 44. But which position was Nico running in prior to that final pit stop? Was he in P10, P12, P14 or P16? In his Sauber, where was he running prior to that final pit stop? Where do you reckon? What position do you think he was running in during that time? 17 is not an option, IBK. I'm not that cruel with the quiz, okay? Where was Nico running? He finished P7, but where did he jump up to? Where was he prior to that pit stop? 3, 2, 1. The answer is P12. He was running P12. He was 8 seconds behind Lance Stroll in P11 and 20 seconds ahead of Gabriel Bortoleto in P13 before that final pit stop came around and he jumped up big time. So well done. Well done, Sauber. The engoodening of Sauber. Very good. Okay. Question 14. Let's go. Lewis Hamilton won the Chinese Grand Prix sprint race in only his second race start for Ferrari. But how many seconds was his race-winning margin to Oscar Piastri in P2? Was it 7 seconds, 9 seconds, 11 seconds, or 13 seconds? The gap between Lewis, who won, and Oscar behind. Of course, I've rounded this up. The actual figure's very, very close to a full second. So I've just rounded it to the closest because it's basically close enough. 7, 9, 11, or 13 seconds. What was Lewis Hamilton's winning race margin at the Chinese Grand Prix sprint race? What do you reckon? What do you reckon? You've got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is 7. 6.889 to be precise. So within 0.111 of 7 seconds. 6.889 seconds to be precise. 7 seconds gap between Lewis Hamilton and Oscar Piastri at the finishing line. Well done, Lewis. Hopefully more Ferrari big results will be coming in the future. Right, David's cooking. David, you are absolutely cooking. And Helita, not so much. Well, next time, Helita, you submit your own question, and then that's a guaranteed 1 out of 20, because you'll know the answer. Okay, question 15. Let's go. Awkward Leon's at 14 as well. Damn. Who was testing McLaren's 2023 F1 car on Thursday? Was it Pato O'Ward, Rio Hirakawa, Frederick Vesti, or Valtteri Bottas? Who was testing the McLaza? The old McLaren. Who was it? Who was in the car? In the papaya machine? In the papaya machine? Who was doing it? We've got 2 McLaren reserves in Pato O'Ward, Rio Hirakawa. We've got Frederick Vesti and Valtteri Bottas, who are both Mercedes reserves as well. But which one was driving the car on Thursday? The answer is Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas. Yeah, the Mercedes are basically sharing their reserves because obviously McLaren run Mercedes PUs, as do Williams as well. So, yeah, Williams and McLaren both have access to Bottas and Vesti, I believe, as well. I imagine it's him as well. But yeah, the answer is Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas. Yeah, really. Magic Yak, I know. Bottas in a McLaren. Who'd have thought it? Okay. Well done if you got that one right. Question 16. Let's move. Somebody will be jumping into Charles Leclerc's Ferrari for Bahrain FP1. It was announced this month. But who is it? Arthur Leclerc, Dino Beganovic, Robert Schwartzman, or Rafael Camara? Who's going to be piloting Charlie Boy's Ferrari in Bahrain FP1? Okay, obviously you have obligations to run certain drivers. Also, I think some teams, because you have to run a certain number of juniors or junior mileage in FP1s. But I think you can pick out of that junior and just run. Like if Mercedes wanted to run Valtteri Bottas in FP1, I think they'd be allowed, wouldn't they? But anyway, I've waffled too much. The answer is Dino Beganovic. Dino Beganovic, who's in F2 this year, the 21-year-old Swedish Bosnian F2 driver, who impressed, I think, actually, when he jumped into F2 late last year. Got a couple of very decent results under his helmet. So keep an eye on Dino in F2 this year, and he's going to be in the Ferrari in FP1 in Bahrain, in Charlie's Ferrari in FP1 and Bahrain. Well done, Dino. Okay. Bottas won't be allowed, he's not a rookie. Yeah, but that's what I mean, just like would Bottas, like, even if Mercedes just wanted to run Bottas for FP1 and not in, like, obviously it wouldn't go towards the rookie allocation, but they could still just run Bottas in FP1 just without the rookie thing, couldn't they? I think. I don't see why they couldn't. Yeah, they can do it, but it doesn't count towards the rookie counter. Yeah, that I guess that's more what I meant. Yeah, if they just wanted to help Valtteri get up to speed. But yeah. Anyway, Dino Beganovic is the answer. Question number 17. After one F2 sprint race, the feature was cancelled. So far this year in Australia, the weather saw to the feature being cancelled. Who currently leads the Constructors' Championship in Formula 2? Not the drivers, the constructors. Is it Invicta Racing, AIX Racing, High-Tech TGR, Gazoo Racing, or Prema Racing? Who leads the constructors in F2? Again, annoyingly, didn't get the feature race. That would have been nice. So only one sprint. I imagine they will have another feature race at some point, like later in the year. They'll just find a way of squeezing in an extra feature race. I'm sure they've done that before. But yeah, who in F2 is leading the constructors after that one? So we're only looking at one race here, but which team scored the most points in that sprint? The answer is Invicta. Well done to anyone who said Invicta Racing. With Fornaroli, he finished second, and Roman Stanek finished fifth. Whereas Dirksen, who won the sprint, races for AIX, but his teammate, Kyan Shields, was out of the points. So the answer is Invicta. Well done to anyone who got that right. There's the F2 question. Question 18. Who took pole position at the first F1 Academy weekend of the year in China? Was it Dorian Pain, Chloe Chambers, Alicia Palmovsky, or Maya Verg? I'm going to say Verg. Exactly, Verg. I think it's Verg. Who got pole in China? Who got pole? Who got pole? Who got pole position in F1 Academy? We've got, was it Abby's doing GB3 this year, isn't she? Is it Rodin she's doing it with? Can't remember. But I know because she's not part of Alpine anymore. But yeah, hopefully this is the start of a long and successful career in motorsport for Abby Pulling. She's been successful already so far. But pole position in China was Myers. It was Myers, the one you can't pronounce. Maya Verg. I'm going to say Verg. I need to look out how you pronounce her surname. I do apologise, Maya, if you're watching. Well done, Maya. You took pole. Dorian took the win, the race win, the first race win anyway, didn't she? She overtook Maya at the start, but Maya took pole by like half a second. I did write it down here. Yeah, almost half a second ahead of Dorian in qualifying. Okay, couple of a few of you got 14 out of 18. Not bad. Not bad. Question 19. We move. 2 more to go. Oscar Piastri set 2 laps in the Chinese Grand Prix qualifying session that were good enough for pole position. But what was the difference in time between those 2 laps? So how much did he improve? Those 2 laps were good enough for pole, but what was the gap between those 2 laps in time? Was it 0.022 of a second, 0.042, 0.062, or 0.082 of a second? No. You've got 20 seconds. Oh, for God's sake, man. Don't quit the day job. Yeah, you're right, Seamus. The answer is 0.062. If you were paying attention, you would have seen that already. But some of you might not have been. So if you didn't see me spoil the answer to the question, then good. If you did, then sorry. I knew I was going to do that at some point. I knew that was going to happen at some point. I wanted to click the countdown and I just clicked the reveal answer thing instead. It was Oscar did a 1:30.703, and then he improved that to 1:30.641, which is a difference of 0.062 of a second. So well done, Oscar. Anyway, no, it's not wrong, David. It's not wrong. This is the difference between Oscar's 2 best lap times. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. Look, I literally looked this up on F1 Tempo. It's the difference between Oscar's 2 quickest lap times from F1 Tempo directly. No, it's not wrong, David. It's not wrong. Question 20. Okay, go check yourself, David. It's not wrong, I promise. Final question. Question 20. How much did Lewis Hamilton's plank fail its wear measurement by, resulting in him being disqualified from the Chinese Grand Prix? Was it 0.5 millimetre, 1.5 millimetres, 2.5 millimetres, or 3.5 millimetres? How much did the plank fail by? What was the margin? What was the transgression failure by? Because they measure it in like 3 different points on the plank, like in the middle, on the left, and on the right, and it's like super military grade precision that they're measuring that at. And unfortunately for Lewis, it did fail across all 3 points. There was one point it failed by more than the others, but what was the big failure point? It was the answer. 0.5 millimetre. 0.5 millimetre. Damn. 0.5 millimetre. But it was enough. It's a black or white rule. So, unfortunately for Lewis, he did get disqualified. Charles got disqualified for weight being over. But there you go. The quiz is done. Broadly speaking, apart from me spoiling the answer to one question. What we say in chat. And please, as well, if you are here on the live chat, please let me know your score in the comments below, because more comments helps the algorithm, helps these quizzes get out there. Because I would love this quiz to perform to a level where it can be a really like good regular part of my content, you know. Kind of trying it out. We're early doors. Outlaw got 20. Damn, nice. 19th didn't count. Well, look, 19th was my. You can all have the point for 19th because I messed that one up. Okay, that was my fault. All right, that was. I'll take that responsibility on that one. 17. Christopher, very good. Dan, 19, very good. Seamus, 16, decent. And is that including your question, Seamus? Again, if you do want to contribute questions, you can support me on Patreon, and I ask during the month, towards the end of the month, for suggestions, like Varna, like Seamus did this time, out for questions for the quiz. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you had fun. Hope it was somewhat enjoyable and decent and good. Now, what's going on next? Well, I want to do a video that I want to put out tomorrow. I want to actually do a video about Isaac. I want to talk a bit about Isaac, what he needs to be doing moving forward. You know, how is he going to be looking at all of this turmoil at Red Bull Racing? And then Wednesday, we'll do the pre-race CHINWAG for this weekend's Japanese Grand Prix, where, of course, we will see Yuki Tsunoda at the wheel. In a Red Bull, we'll see Haas with a fancy livery, Red Bull with a fancy livery. Sauber, I think, have got a different livery with, like, red. But we'll talk all about that in Wednesday's pre-race CHINWAG for the 2025 Japanese Grand Prix. So, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Isaac, NDA, Emily, Keshbo, Max, Josiah, Halita, Magic Jack, and all the rest of you for getting involved on the live chat. And thank you to everyone listening and watching after the fact, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you are consuming this podcast. It's a pleasure, as always. My name's Tom. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.